What's up, everybody? It's your boy Duty back again with another video. And being that today is September 1st, I thought it would be a great time to publish this video. Where what I wanted to do is I wanted to look back and look at our boy DSP's finances. Mainly around the fact that Phil constantly tells us he has no money and that he's always broke. And that's the reason why he continuously begs and needs tips and so on, right? My contention is that's a lie. My contention is that he just begs because he just wants more money and more money, and the more money he can get, the better it is for him. And based on what Phil gets on a monthly and yearly basis, which is very easy to calculate, we have all the information and we can easily calculate it. The hardest part being calculating the ad revenue, which isn't really difficult at all because I'm monetized. I get the same exact viewership Phil gets. I actually get a little bit more views than he does. So I know specifically how much he gets in ad revenue, give or take a couple $100, but I can pretty much knock it out of the ballpark and know what he gets. So again, my contention, along with a bunch of other YouTubers, is that Phil continuously lies about being broke. And the one thing that he constantly says is every week, whenever he begs for tips, he brings up the fact that he has these two mysterious bills that creep up. We know what they are. First of the month, or the first week of the month, it's always the cable bill, the internet bill, and some other bill I don't remember. But he says that cost him $800. Oh, I know what it is. HOA fees and his internet bill, right? So right there, we know his HOA fees is $600, and we know his internet is $200, right? Which sounds a little bit high, but anyway, for argument's sake, let's just say that his figures are correct, right? And we know every week he comes in, he basically lies about these two big bills that he needs to pay, and he begs for money, right? Interesting little tidbit from yesterday's podcast that Phil slipped up where he mentioned his monthly YouTube payment. Let's watch the clip real quick.
To more Destroy All Humans 2 Reprobed on the mainstream. And one thing I want to say, guys, it's been a great month overall, all right? However, because of false copyright strikes against this channel, this has hurt me greatly, this membership, all right? Today is the final day of the month. The final day where if you could re-up your membership, become a member, or give memberships to the channel, it would help me a lot, all right? Right now, I'm in a situation where unless things change today, when I get paid by YouTube in September, my payment is going to be significantly lower than it usually is because people committed crimes against me this month. And that's bullshit. It's not, oh, Phil did something wrong and he lost income because he did something heinous. Literally nothing like that. It's because people are fucking with me and then makes people afraid to renew their memberships. And that's bullshit. That hurts me a lot. That's income I depend on. That monthly payment I get from YouTube is what I pay my mortgage with, and what I pay my car bill with, and what I pay my monthly utility bills with, and what I do this and that with. And that's a problem if it's now going to be way lower. All right?
Okay, you heard it there from our boy Phil. He uses that monthly check to pay his mortgage, his bills, all his utility bills, right? So essentially he pays everything with that big check that he gets every week, every month. And we know this. We know that he gets a big monthly check, and we know what the averages are, and we can make the calculations. The only thing really left to do is actually just take a look at his actual bills and what he owes, and what his monthly kind of utilities are so far. And then based off of that, you can kind of determine what's left over and whether or not Phil is lying or not. Like, I contest for the longest that Phil is lying. He has money, he gets money. Now what he does with that money that he earns, that's a different story. I know our boy loves to spend it on those mobile games and so on, and that could be the reason why he's broke. But I'm not taking that into effect. He's wasting his money on frivolous stuff. That's his problem. I don't care about that. I simply want to take a look at the money that he receives, from income on a monthly basis, and calculate calculate the income that he gets from tips, super chats, super thanks, memberships, his Patreon, and his ad revenue from YouTube, right? So what I did was I went back and I took a look at all those figures. Let me pull it up. Give me a minute. And of course, this is just a quick little rough draft from Notepad. Let me see if I can actually make this bigger. Let's see, view, zoom in. All right, give me a minute. I just have to keep zooming in little by little. Zoom in. All right, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make this actually a little bit bigger so everyone can see it. Okay, here it is. All right, now the sources for this are my analytics and comparing them to DSP analytics, which are very close. Piece of Pieces database where he keeps track of his tips, Patreon, and all that stuff. So essentially, I took all the information and determined that he gets on a monthly basis from YouTube, he gets about $7,000. Now, most months it's a little bit more than that, but I want to be conservative. I'm just going to say $7,000, which is very low. I mean, on average, he gets between $8,000 and $10,000 a month. But just for argument's sake here, so no one says I'm inflating numbers, I'm going to use the lowest. I'm going to use the conservative number, right? So it's $7,000. This is just his YouTube check, right? All right. So if you deduct the monthly taxes, which are 30%, that knocks off $2,000. His mortgage, we all know his house, he paid $265. So if you do a 30-year mortgage or whatever, it comes out to roughly about $1,500, and that should include principal, interest, and so on, right? That would include all that stuff there, right? The next thing he has there is OHA fees, which he talks about, which are $600, which I have no clue what the hell he's paying with that, but he continuously says it's $600. Fine, let's add that $600 there. He has his car payment. His vehicle, his car, based on what he paid for it, his is about $300. That's his monthly payment. It's actually a little less than that, but I just rounded up to $300. His car insurance is about $100 a month. His internet, he always claims, is $200 a month. His groceries and pet supplies, I gave him $800 a month. So essentially, he's spending $200 a week, which is a lot. I have a family of 4, and I don't spend $200 a week, but I'm being generous. I'm gonna say he spends $200 a week, which is $800 a month. His water bill, rounded up, $100. Electric, $200, which is a lot. If you average it out for the length of the 12 months, it's less than that, but I'm rounding it up again because I don't want people saying I'm using low figures. And then $40 for his trash. I think he does his trash once a month. So let's just say $40, right? If you deduct all of these bills from that $7,000, what he has left is $1,160. That's just from his YouTube check right there. He has $1,160 left, right? Okay. So let's also take a look at the back taxes and the bankruptcy payments. So based on his bankruptcy from several years ago, we know that he came to a agreement with his creditors on what he had to pay back. I don't know that figure. So I put a question mark there. But I know it's based on a percentage of your income. You know what I mean? So they take into account all your bills, what you pay, and then it's a certain amount of that, right? And then his back taxes, which I doubt he's still paying those, but I know I don't think he pays his back tax. I think that's done. That's been several years now. And but I don't know what that payment is, right? But for argument's sake, let's just say that we know it can't be more than $1,160 a month. He is not paying back taxes and bankruptcy payment, almost $1,200 a month just for those two bills, for the creditors that he owes. But I don't know that amount, so I'm going to leave that blank, all right? But we know that he has $1,160. Let's say for argument's sake, okay, $1,160, that's what he pays every month for his bankruptcy and his back taxes, right? His payment, right? Let's just say he does. Okay, so that nets him out at $0. So essentially, he's paid every single bill that he owes and walks away with $0. That's again assuming he makes only $7,000 in a month, and we know he makes more than that. He makes around $8,000 to $9,000. His YouTube payment is roughly around $8,000 to $9,000 a month, right? So he's still going to walk away with a little bit of cash. And even if he is still paying the back taxes and the bankruptcy payment to his creditors, it's still going to be less than what his monthly YouTube payment is. All right. So let's just zero him out. Let's be conservative. Let's zero him out. His monthly check actually paid for everything he owes, right? Now let's look at the tips. On average, our boy Phil makes about $100 a day in tips. That's average, and that's conservative. So if you, well, actually, it's more than, I'm sorry. It's about he averages about $125 a day. So if you take his tips and then you calculate it by how many days he streams, which is 24, I think it is, right? He's roughly around $3,000. So he makes about $3,000 in tips, and then you can look at piece database, and you can see that it's about $3,000 in tips on average every month, right? His Patreon is about $1,000. So he has roughly 300 Patreon members. They pay whatever $4 or $5 on average. You know, you figure. I just rounded it to $1,000, right? So right there, he has $4,000 in income every month. Now minus his taxes, he's looking at $2,800, right? So $2,800 divided by 4 weeks, he has about $700 a week. This is conservative. This is overestimating his payments, what he owes, the bankruptcy, the back taxes, even if he is paying anything on the bankruptcy payment, and that's assuming he's still paying his back taxes, he still has $700 a week. After everything is said and done, on the conservative side of it, he's still walking away with $700 a week. So why is he continuously crying poor mouth? Why? $700 a week, meaning all your bills are paid off, right? Everything, your groceries, everything that you can think of, all your insurances, everything is paid off. You're still walking away with $700 a week that should go into your bank account. Now, if you don't put that money in your bank account, that's a personal problem yet again. Like I said, the money he spends on WWE and all the other crap that he buys and spends his money on, that's his problem. But he has $700 a week. On average, at least $700 a week that he can save into his account. So that's $2,800 a month. You times that by 12. Do you see where I'm going with this? That's roughly close to, he can almost save, let's say $25,000 to $30,000 a year just in savings if he saves $700 a week, right? But we know our boy Phil doesn't do that. And what he does with that money, excuse me, that's his problem. My thing is, I just wanted to look at what his bills are, what he pays every month, how much he gets, and what he on average remains with. And again, these are all conservative numbers, right? And we don't fully have the back tax payment or the bankruptcy payment, right? So I'll offer you that. But still, he has close to $1,200 a month from his monthly YouTube check to pay for that. And I know he's not paying $600 a month on bankruptcy payments, nor back taxes. All right. But for argument's sake, since we don't have those figures, we'll just use that. We'll use that 1160 figure. That, let's just say that's what he pays every month. Still, with all that, he's still making $700 a week net. That's what he's netting after everything is gone, everything is paid for. He's making about $700. So he has no reason to cry poor mouth or continuously beg the way he does. And again, he exposed himself in this video where he actually stated that his monthly YouTube check actually pays his mortgage and all his bills. All right. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Peace out.